expecting or asking anything in return. You can't expect something in return. That's why I always bring up David. He didn't want anything in return. But God poured riches on him and power and wealth because he meant it. But if you go into it wanting something, you could have kicked everybody out and then not realize that you're kicking out the very person you need in your life. And I've realized that with a lot of people. They're waiting for that one golden ticket, the Willy Wonka of golden tickets. And they want to tell everybody they're leaders, and they want to write all these books. But the second that you try to follow them, you can't. Because they won't let you follow. A true leader goes in first, eats last, goes to bed last, wakes up early. Oh, wait a minute, it's a Marine. I'm sorry, that's a Marine. I know, that's right. But I've noticed some of they're not afraid to go in first, and you can either follow them or not. That's up to you. You don't have to follow them, but they're not going to pull you along. You're not going to drag a dead horse. But when somebody comes to your door and you answer it and you let them in, you just have to take that chance in life. And so many people out there, they get depressed. They don't think life is going right for them. They think that everything is downhill. They want to get in their little box. They call themselves normal. And then they look out, oh, I don't want to mess with that because I don't want to get part of the rumor or the drama. Oh, I don't want to deal with your problems because, oh man, it's going to come back and affect. People forget that sometimes that's our calling, that's God or whoever they pray to. That's them knocking at the door saying, hey, I'm right here. I'm not a rich person. I'm not a poor person, over the last couple of days, one of my friends, he made 6 figures. He had plenty of money, but he was empty on the inside. Very, very empty on the inside. He was 68 years old and felt like life was done because he was empty, and he was very wealthy, but he was empty. Why? Because it didn't really matter. Then I see people that have no money. Oh, wait, that's my family. Who are some of the happiest, but you look at them why they're happy, and they get around people. They go where they're celebrated, not tolerated. And I see people that, I don't know if they're rich or poor, but they go to the bars every day and they're drinking their life away or they're doing the drugs. But then I watch people like, oh, I don't want to mess with them because that person is usually the person you should probably go up to and say, hey, you know what? Instead of drinking tonight, let's go play a board game, or let's go out to eat instead, let's put the beer bottles down. Because all they want, they're looking for some kind of, to fill that emptiness, that void. They're lost, they're alone, it's like you were saying, that sheep that gets away. We look at it like, well, everybody's trying to convert us to Catholicism, or they're trying to convert us to Judaism, or Muslim, or whatever else, when actually sometimes it's just people being good. God didn't tell you had to be anything. To me, God just said, be a good person. And he never said go out and kill people because the God that I know of, he's not for killing at all. I'm sorry.
Another thing that phrases, I had a call from a friend who said, Ty, thank you for reaching out to me. And I had reached out to say I had just prayed for this person. And that phrase meant so much to me. And so I keep trying to tell people, reach out. You don't know if you're going to be accepted, but reach out. If you don't try, it won't be accepted. But there might be that one person that you reach out to that needed you at that time. And you never know that.
Sometimes when you do it and you try to reach out to somebody, you don't know that you may be the person that needs it more than the person you're reaching out to.
Well, that is true too. That's true too. But probably it takes a lot of psychic energy to do it at that time. For that person.
For you, I can tell that. Now, this book here, a friend of mine got this for me. This was a book that I got when I was in the Marine Corps. A friend of mine from Wisconsin. It actually says, and I never gave it back. I probably stole it, so I admit that. But it says, Jeffrey, I go to be reading this quite often. I have to be reading this quite often. Please take care of this book. My mom got it for me. I hope you find it as useful as I have. Jessica, please read page 39, the quote by Storm James. So let's go to 39 real quick, and then I'll kind of wrap this up a little bit. By Storm James. Okay, this is what she sent me when I was in the Marine Corps. And the people, you get things when you need it the most. Sometimes you don't know you need it, but you need it the most. Anyway, she sent this to me when I was overseas. I go, I believe that only one person in 1,000 knows the trick of really living in the present. Most of us spend 59 minutes an hour living in the past, with regret for lost joys or shame for things badly done, both utterly useless and weakening, or in the future which we either long for or dread. Yet the past has gone beyond prayer, and every minute you spend in the vain effort to anticipate the future is a moment lost. There is only one world, the world pressing against you at this minute. There is only 1 minute in which you are alive, this minute, here and now. The only way to live is by accepting each minute as an unrepeatable miracle, which is exactly what it is, a miracle and unrepeatable. Think of that.
Do you got that from your mother?
No. This is a friend of mine, Jessica, who sent this to me.
That, I thought you said your mother sent you that when you.
No, her mother sent it to her.
Her mother, okay.
But you're right, God gives us one miracle. He knows we can't, he never said, by the way, you can go back in time and fix your mistakes. He never said that. But I think the biggest thing is, he gave us the chance to forgive, forget, and let go, better than remembering remorse and hold on to the anger on the inside and regret. We have to learn, I think the biggest thing in life we have to do, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, it's not something we talk about too much, but I think a lot of what people do when they're sad and they're down and everything else is they don't forgive themselves. You can't, and then I was taught a long time ago, well, not even a long time ago, just through what I learned is you need to ask forgiveness from your enemies, from your bullies, from the people you hurt, from the people that hurt you. You have to ask forgiveness from them. But you're not asking it for their sake. You're asking it for your sake because you're giving them the time in your mind. You're giving them the time in your head. You're allowing that drama and that hurt to continue inside yourself by holding on to it.
What you just said there, Jeff, is what was in the Our Father, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us.
I realized that till just now. I didn't realize that till just now. Forgive us our trespasses, we forgive those who trespass against us.
So
Seriously, I just literally thought of that. That's wow.
every time we pray the Lord's Prayer, that's what Jesus taught his disciples, and that's a prayer, universal prayer for all Christians. We would pray that, and that's what we're saying. Forgive us, forgive me my trespasses, to the degree I forgive Jess who has trespassed against me. And if I don't forgive you, then God don't forgive me.
You know that God forgives everybody. It's that you have to want to be forgiven, though.
Well,
You can't just say forgive me. You gotta want it. You gotta need it. You gotta.
and this man here reaches more people than most priests.
I don't reach anybody. I don't know what he's talking about.
In his work.
I don't do nothing important. I'm just me. I just know that there's people that
You're not accepting yourself.
one day I'll get that lesson. But anyway, this is who I get to bounce stuff off of, and this is who's a spiritual leader in my life, but also a brother and a friend. So he may not be a Marine. We forgive him for that. That's okay. He decided to become a Marine with God, I guess. I don't know. To survive the nuns out there, I don't know how you do it. By the way, if Sister Florence is watching this, I'm sorry. She's one of my aunts. I think she's about 99 years old now. No, seriously, that's not a joke. I think that's how old she is right now. Because Grandma died at 98. Sister Florence is Grandpa Coons. But a lot of you all know her from St. Vincent's when she worked over there. And she believed in hard work. And you don't get anywhere in life without working. You do not expect anything in life unless you're willing to go do it yourself. Do not expect anybody to do it for you. You need to go do it yourself. You can't just expect stuff from people. That's not why we're here. You have to go out and earn it every day. You have to live every day. And society, if you sit on a couch, one of my friends put this on social media the other day, that if you sit down, you all go out and get fast food, take the S out of fast food. What do you get? Fat food. So what happens if you sit down, you get freebies every day, and you sit down and do nothing? You sit back and basically you're no use to anybody. Problem is, each one of us has a purpose. We have a calling. We need to get off our seats and go out and talk with people. We need to go out there and introduce people to people, Is everybody going to agree with everything that each other do? No. but you're also not going to know that that one person you talk to, he may not or she may not agree with you, but you may have just made a difference in their life by telling them something they never heard before, or giving them an idea that they've never had before. Not everybody is going to be a Christian or a Catholic. Not everybody is going to agree with everything you say. But you want to know something? When they learn that they're loved anyway, and they're respected anyway, and all of a sudden it's kind of like, you can be whoever you want to be. I'm just going to lead. If you want to follow me, that's your choice. Jesus a long time ago said, I'll lead, but it's up to you if you follow. And I was telling him earlier coming in here, and the reason why I said it is some of the biggest cowards I've ever seen in my life were the disciples. The 12 disciples were the biggest cowards. Each one of them in the end ended up dying, but they died with the Holy Spirit. They had to get courage and strength. We sit there and look at life every day like, oh, all these people were great. No, they weren't. They were human, and they sinned, and they were scared, and they hid. Pontius Pilate was a very strong Roman. Do not get me wrong, he was. His wife tried to tell him, hey, this Jesus guy, we might want to be careful with him. But the people that I follow were leaders later in life. They weren't right away, and they didn't know how to be leaders until the Holy Spirit came to them, and Jesus said, hey, look, go out. You have to be the shepherds now. I'm gone. That you need to be the shepherds. And they got the strength and the wisdom. And when they started believing in something more than themselves, that's what a coward is. Somebody that only looks at themselves like, how can I? No. You've got to look harder and deeper into people. You've got to go out there and look at something that's more important. You yourself are important, but it can't be based on you. It's got to be based on a higher power. It's got to be something more. You've got to want to give back and not expect anything in return. You've got to know that you make a difference in people's lives and never ask if you made a difference. You're not, because guess what? You can go through life and no one's going to tell you make a difference, but your job is to make a difference in one person's life. You're just never going to know who it is because you're not allowed to know. If you were to know, then why would you all of a sudden you just stop and quit? When in reality, you need to be energetic and go out there every day knowing that you are making a difference, but never asking who or want any compensation for what you did. So many people, they got greedy. They expect something. But how I was raised, don't expect anything. Just do it. Do it because you want to. Do it because it's the right thing to do. And do it because it makes you feel good. If you want something, if you expect every day to go out there and win the lottery, you're never going to win. Let's face it, you can go and buy as many lottery tickets as you want, but 1 in a billion, you're not going to win. But if you go out there and you're full on the inside because you help people or you do nice things for people, it fills you up. Emptiness is wanting and being greedy, and like I said, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. We're all empty on the inside if we're doing things for the wrong reason at the wrong time, and we go where we're tolerated, not celebrated. And people don't celebrate you if you want stuff from them at all times. They just tolerate you. So go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. That's my thing this week. Tolerated, not celebrated. Anything else you want to add before I close her up and tell her to get jiggy with it?
all of us are on the journey to in my view, to the Lord, and we help one another along the way. And when we fall, we get up and start over again. If we want forgiveness, God will give it to us, and He's there with us every day of our life, whatever situation, whether you're single, married, widowed, whether you're a teenager, middle-aged adult, or senior citizen. He's with everybody. And He wants everybody to come home to Him.
And on the closing note, I'm going to say then I'm going to have Father here say a little prayer and blessing for you guys if he'll do that. The whole point of this is this. Each one of you, every day is important. I don't care what part of walk of life you are. I don't care who you are, where you come from. I don't care what your sexuality is, the color of your skin, the race, your creed, your culture, your religion. But you got to understand this, that you're important. And if you basically do not get out into the world to go and do your purpose, if you don't have a purpose, you're going to be alone. You're going to feel alone. You're going to feel you need to go out and volunteer. You need to go out and be nice to people. You need to go out and celebrate your friends. You need to go out and just take on the world, whether you're scared or not. Because if you close yourself down and you keep pushing and you keep having resentment, it doesn't do anybody any good, especially you. Because every day in life you matter. Every day in life you have a purpose. Every day you walk this planet, there is a reason why you're here. And if you are so greedy that you have to lock yourself in a closet and throw away the key, you know what they told me? God knows you're in a closet. You think he really cares if you're in a closet? Nope, he can see you. You know, we're so busy blaming everything on politics, and we're looking to blame that we forget to point the finger right back at us and say, hey, you know what? Failure is acceptable. You have to fail to succeed. How you succeed and what you succeed is up to you. Whether it be in business and marriage and life and relationships, you're going to fail. You have to fail. Failure is part of it. And what's popping in my head right now is, Jesus died on the cross. That's failure. You know why it's a failure? Because he needed to die in order for the sins of man to be lifted. If he did not die, his last words on the cross were, Father, why for thou hast forsaken me? But he knew he had to die. So he, technically you look at it as a failure. But he got success out of it. Why? Because look where we're at today. Today, you have the church. Peter built the church on the rock of our faith. Stuff like that. I guess you can go with that. But if we don't fail, you all think failure is unacceptable. Failure is a must. You're not going to go out and know what success is unless you fail. You're not going to know what winning, taking first is if you don't get last. You're not going to know what discipline is if you go out there every day and you don't practice. There's a cute video on Facebook where it shows a lineman and the coach says, okay, put a blindfold, puts a 160-pound guy on his back and says, all you got to do is make it to the 50-yard line. He keeps telling him to go, go, go. When he takes the blindfold off, the kid's like, hey, you know what, fine, I made it, but I'm sorry I couldn't go no farther than the 50-yard line. But I'm just dead, coach. And the coach said, really? He said, look down, you're in the end zone. Well, that's what God's telling us every day. We're so, we have to shut our eyes sometimes and just trust and just know that we're going to make it there. Because guess what? The pain might be hurting, but if we know where we're going, we stop. You know why the grass is greener on the other side? It's because the cattle aren't going over there. Why? Because they don't know they can get over there. But if you put a blindfold on, bet you anything, they can knock down a few fences. Some of you are going to understand it. Some of you are going to look at me like I'm crazy. I get that. But look at a football field someday. And Dave Savola used to say this. He's a mentor in our business who passed on a couple years ago. He goes, look at the 50-yard line. Where is the mud at? It's in the middle of the football field. You want to go where the grass is at. Well, you're not going to get to the grass, if you don't shut your eyes and go. Everybody's always right there in the middle. They're always at the 50-yard line. That's the reason why there's no grass. You want to go where the grass is green. So, let a few people tackle you. Let a few people, strike you out. Babe Ruth had more strikeouts than he had home runs, but he was a home run king. But he wouldn't know how great a home run felt like if he didn't strike out a few times. He wouldn't get mad. He wouldn't try harder. He wouldn't push himself. Everybody's like, you can't do that. Well, they told Michael Phelps he couldn't do it either, and look what he did. He broke how many records in the last Olympics? And that was just when we were over in China at the Beijing Olympics. You don't know what you can do. There's no such thing as can't. Fail and fail and fail until you succeed. But get up, brush yourself off, quit feeling sorry for yourself, and go out there and be better today than who you were yesterday. And when you get up tomorrow morning, know this, you matter, and you're going to be better tomorrow morning than who you are today. And that's the point. Each one of you matter. Anyway, I'm going to let Father lead us in a quick prayer and a blessing, if that's okay with him. And then I'm going to shut it off, and I'm going to get back to work. So, if you don't mind.
God the Father, bless all of us on our journey. Bless us in our human existence. And we're all broken people. Jesus, when you were here on earth, you touched people that were healed. They touched you and they were healed. You are the divine physician. Touch each one of us in our brokenness and heal us all with the gift of the Holy Spirit. Those gifts of wisdom, counsel, guidance, and courage and strength, faith, even our faith, our hope, and our love for God and one another. And at the Last Supper you told your disciples, I've washed your feet. Go forth now and do likewise for my people. God bless you and keep you, and know that you're loved by God. Amen.
I appreciate you. Love you, brother. I always have, and I appreciate your mentorship and your guidance and everything else. And you tolerating me because, you know, I can be a handful sometimes. I appreciate you. So now, everybody, I'll talk to everybody soon.